Welcome to Forensic Science Sunday, where I tell you one true crime case that was solved using forensic science, all while doing, that's right, my makeup. Today's video will be featuring the Aromas palette from UConn. This is an Amazon brand. You guys know how much I love Amazon makeup. This is one of the only Amazon makeup brands that I actually trust to produce really good makeup. Well, besides Beauty Glaze. Beauty Glaze is really good as well. I want to serve you a couple of Valentine's Day looks leading up to Valentine's Day, so that's what we're going to be doing today. All of the other items in this video will be linked in the description below. Please read the disclaimer. I am not a professional makeup artist, nor am I a professional forensic pathologist. I am just the average girl at home like you, planning my makeup. Sometimes I do my nails while I talk about a true crime case. So if that's something you're into, then you're more than welcome to hit that subscribe button. Also, quick reminder, the comment section is a privilege. Don't fuck it up. And you guys have been doing amazing so far. Now let's get into today's case. This story takes place in Davison, Michigan in the year 2014, where a married couple, Jason and Christina Harris, lived with their two daughters. The Harrises lived in a very quiet, nice suburban neighborhood in Davison. Their youngest daughter was just 4 months old. Christina, 36, was a manager at Subway, but she had been on maternity leave because she had just recently had a baby. Christina adjusted to domestic life really well. She loved being at home with her family, and she loved scrapbooking as well as crafting and board games. Christina's favorite night of the week was family night because they would all get together and play board games, which kind of reminds me of like when I was in Chicago with my family. We wouldn't do it often, but sometimes we would play board games like Monopoly, and that shit would get real. It would get real quick. I'm telling you. People were acting like we was using real money up in there or something. I don't know what was wrong with them. Our board games are pretty intense with my family. We have people, grown-ass people, that get mad with each other for like months to years at a time, holding grudges for a board game. So yeah, we take it pretty seriously. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys' families are with board games. Do you even play board games anymore? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people play video games now, but yeah, I always really liked board games. It's one of my, like, I guess it is one of my favorite things. Her husband, Jason, who was 47, he worked in a plastic factory, and he would actually spend very little time with the family. He spent most of his time at work, you know, providing for the family and just staying at work. On the morning of September 29th, 2014, Jason called his neighbors from work, and he asked them if they could go over to his house and check on Christina, his wife, because he said that he had been calling her and she wasn't answering his calls or any of his text messages, and he was beginning to become worried. He was worried because the night before, Christina wasn't feeling well. In fact, she was so ill that he had to take the children with him to work that morning, and he left her at home in bed to care for herself. Why, hello, Detective Inspector Lucy. She's just checking in to make sure that we are running according to schedule. So he took the children to work with him, and he left Christina in bed to care for herself that morning. The neighbor agreed to go over and check on, why was I about to call her Susan? Y'all was about to give me what, y'all? Not today. I'm not messing up today. Maybe a few times, I don't know. The neighbor did agree to go over and check on Christina. When they got to the home, they tried knocking on the door, but no one answered. And after numerous attempts of, knocking on the door and getting no answer from Christina, they noticed that the door was unlocked, and they went inside. That is when they discovered Christina's lifeless body in the bed. She was cold to the touch, so this neighbor got another neighbor who was a registered nurse, and she confirmed everyone's worst nightmare, that Christina had no pulse. The two neighbors called the police, but by the time paramedics arrived, she was already gone and they couldn't save her. So they pronounced her dead on the spot. When police searched the home, they found no evidence of forced entry or foul play. Christina wasn't like hurt in any way that they could see, obviously besides being dead, Zahara. But I mean, besides that, she didn't have any markings or bruises on her body that would indicate she had been in some sort of attack or struggle or anything like that. So they really didn't have any evidence of foul play or that anyone had been in the home. It appeared as though Christina had mysteriously died. When investigators questioned her husband Jason, he told them that she wasn't feeling well the night before. He said she had been struggling with a cold that was making her asthma act up, and she was restless all night and just coughing and stuff like that. He also told police that Christina had been feeling weak, sick, and hungry that evening, and so he made her a bowl of cereal. According to Jason, she was so sick she could barely hold up the spoon to her mouth to feed herself, and then she dropped the bowl on the floor and she fell out of her chair and passed out on the floor. So he helped her back to their bedroom, where he put her in the bed and put her to sleep. He cleaned up the mess in the kitchen and returned to bed with Christina. He said the entire night Christina was tossing and turning. She was coughing, so she was having a really difficult time. This is like my life right now, literally every day since I got COVID. Yep, for a whole year, Jason told police that Christina was sleeping when he left to work the next morning, and he became concerned when he tried to get in contact with her and she wasn't responding to any of his text messages. Why do brands put perfumey scents into their foundation? Like, bitch, I got my own perfume, okay? I don't want to smell like you, which smells like some 70s antique shop, honestly. So, police were trying to figure out what happened to Christina. Did Christina have some underlying serious health issue that nobody knew about that caused her mysterious death? To find out, investigators questioned her family. Christina's mother told police that she was unaware of any medical problems. She said that she had visited with Christina the day prior, and Christina seemed fine. She seemed in very good condition. She seemed healthy and well and in good spirits. So yeah, she was finding it hard to believe that Christina was sick. So something already is not adding up, because Jason is saying she was sick, but then her mom saw her on that same day that she supposedly got really ill, but then she wasn't sick. An autopsy was performed on Christina's body, and a toxicology report revealed that Christina had heroin in her system. The medical examiner determined the cause of death as an accidental overdose. Friends and family members were shocked and bewildered. They did not believe this for a second. They said that Christina would never do drugs and had never done any drugs of any kind. She had just recently had a baby, so I don't know though. You never know. But most mothers, when even if they are like drug addicts or whatever, they usually will give it up when they have a child. Well, at least for the time being, while they're pregnant with the child, and like shortly after, the child is born, they will be drug-free. So I don't know. Investigators wondered if perhaps she had a secret addiction that she hid from her family. But they weren't entirely sold on that theory, so they continued to investigate. And they took a look into the couple's relationship. Obviously, as you guys know, with these types of cases, and with most cases, police want to rule out the person that is the closest to the victim. And they found out that the couple wasn't as perfect as they seemed. In fact, behind closed doors, tension was brewing between the two. In the coming days, many witnesses would come forward with some damning information about Jason. Some of his colleagues from the plastic factory told police they heard him complaining about his wife. Allegedly, he had even asked one of his co-workers to get drugs for him, something that could put his wife to sleep so she would quit nagging him. fat chance, buddy. So the co-worker gave Jason Xanax pills. Jason admitted to the co-worker days later that he had crushed up the pills and put them into a glass of water to give to Christina, but that Christina wouldn't drink it because she said that it smelt and tasted funny. Thank God for our senses, huh? So then he asked another co-worker, a different person, for pills again that his wife wouldn't be able to smell or taste. Now police had proof that Jason Harris had been intentionally trying to drug his wife. They became convinced that he wanted Christina dead and most likely poisoned her. But wanting someone dead and actually killing them is two different things. Even trying to drug someone so that they would go to sleep and actually killing them is two different things. So, and Jason's own brother even came forward and said that Jason had been cheating on Christina and he believed that Jason wanted Christina dead and that he murdered her. Like, wow, dude, your own brother accusing you of murder? That's pretty big in my book. Like, if I was the cops, slap the cuffs on, take him down to the take his ass down to the cell. It's time to go. Investigators later discovered that Jason had in fact been having an affair with another woman. They had been talking and they exchanged over 3,900 text messages between each other. But that wasn't all. He was seeing other women in addition to that woman as well. So Jason wanted to be a little player. We'll see who gets played. Upon speaking with the neighbors, they told police that they had seen another woman in Jason's home with Jason within weeks of Christina's death. Dude, really? The audacity. Oof. Let me just pull my sleeves down, y'all, because my arms are hairy as fuck. I have not shaved in a minute, okay? I'm gonna do it though, girl. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get my brows, I'm gonna get my lip, I'm gonna get areas I can't talk about on here. I'm gonna get my legs, I'm gonna get my arms, girl. I'm gonna get it, trust me. I'm gonna be like a bald ego, girl. Let me just tell you guys, 9 days after Christina died, Jason booked a flight to Providence, Rhode Island to see this woman, and shortly after that she moved into his house with his daughter, or I should say his and Christina's home with her daughter. I'm sorry, but I gotta check her too, because why are you messing with a dude who just recently had his wife die? Like, what kind? I would even just be thinking, like, on a personal level, like, this guy needs to heal. I'm gonna like be, you know, just try to be, I don't know, a friend to him until he heals from the horrible death of his wife. Does this even make sense? This makes me feel like maybe she was in on it too. You know what I mean? Because I just think it's extremely disrespectful. And I, as a woman, would never want to do that, especially seeing as how it was only 9 days after her death and he was already like moving me into his home. I would be thinking, well, what the hell are you gonna do to me? With further investigation, police found out that Jason tried to hire a hitman to kill his wife, but the hitman got arrested for another charge before he could actually do the job. So thank God for that. Jason then offered another co-worker $10,000 to kill his wife for him. This man is just going up to all his co-workers telling all his business at this point. That man refused and said that he thought Jason was just joking around or something, or just being, you know, dramatic. I mean, I'm sorry, but if my friends even mention something about killing their husbands or wives, if they're not laughing with it, even when they are laughing with it, I'm like, I'm definitely looking at them sideways. Like, I'm just wondering, like, what was going through his head that told him, hey, this sounds normal to just ask your co-workers for their help in killing your wife. And not just one co-worker, but multiple co-workers. Like, one of the colleagues asked Jason if he was so unhappy in his marriage, why he just wouldn't divorce Christina. Why do all these other things, you know. Allegedly, he replied with he needed to get rid of Christina and he didn't want to lose his kids and he didn't want to have to pay child support or alimony or anything like that. One of Christina's friends came forward and told police that Christina confided in her about the couple's issues. And one day she told her that if anything were to happen to her, to look at Jason. Whenever we hear that, guys, we just need to go straight to the police. Just go straight to the police, literally. It's not a joke. We done seen far too many times where people think that when their friends tell them this, that's just a joke. They're just blowing it out of proportion. Now we know. We've seen enough cases, guys, where now we know that if your friend or your family member tell you something like this, you need to go to the police straight away. So I'm just telling all you out there right now, if any of my friends, family members, co-workers, anybody that knows me, if you're watching this, if you say something like that to me, even if you're joking, I'm going to the police. I'm going straight to the police. I might not even tell your ass I'm going to the police. I'll just go to the police. You can't just be saying that to somebody. Although the witness statements and circumstantial evidence pointed directly at Jason Harris, police had no physical proof that Jason had anything to do with Christina's death. I mean, for all they knew, Christina could have just taken the drugs on her own and ended up overdosing. Like, they had nothing, no physical evidence tying him to Christina's death. Now it's time to go into the palette. But anyway, oops. Back to the story. I be feeling like I'm doing something when I do that. I know I ain't doing nothing, but I just feel like I'm doing something. Over the next few years, police would seriously drop the ball on Christina's case. Jason went on to collect the $120,000 of life insurance money from Christina's death, and he continued to live his life as normal. He just went on with his life. Christina's family was devastated, and they were determined to prove that Christina wasn't a drug user who accidentally overdosed, that this was definitely foul play. I mean, she was a mom of two young, beautiful girls, and one in which was only 4 months. So it's just highly unlikely. I feel like I don't know for certain. Like I said, I'm not a drug addict or a parent, so I wouldn't know. But it's highly unlikely that she would continue using, especially if she was, you know, had this young child that she was breastfeeding. That's when they got an idea. You see, at the time of her death, Christina was breastfeeding her 4-month-old daughter. Side note, I'm just wondering, because I've seen some pretty bizarre videos of older children breastfeeding on their parents. And I'm just wondering, when should that, you know, stop? Let me know in the comments down below. Christina did store breast milk at her parents' place because oftentimes the grandparents would, you know, watch over the kids. And so that's when they remembered that they had packs of Christina's breast milk in their freezer. 3 of them, in fact, and they were still frozen in their freezer from all of this time. The breast milk was from the day prior to her death. In 2016, 2 years after her murder, Christina's breast milk was sent to a forensics lab for testing, finally. They wanted to find out if she had drugs in her system the night before when Jason alleged she first got sick. It is said that this was the first time in history that prosecutors asked a forensics lab to test breast milk in the state of Michigan. You know, I do have a funny story about breast milk, but I won't tell it, because I don't know how funny it is. My brother accidentally one time, my little brother, when we were younger, he accidentally took my mom's breast milk out of the refrigerator and used it in a bowl of cereal. He had no idea because she stored it in a different container and he thought it was regular milk. And he drank it. When forensic scientists tested the milk, the drugs When forensic scientists tested the milk, the results came back negative. No traces of drugs were found in her breast milk. Finally, this was the physical evidence that prosecutors needed. By this time, Jason Harris was jobless. He had been fired for failing numerous drug tests over the years. Why am I not surprised? In August 2019, 5 freaking years later, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Christina's cause of death on her death certificate was changed from accidental overdose to homicide, as it should be. And of course, Jason Harris pleaded not guilty to the charges. But the witness statements, circumstantial evidence, and forensic evidence from the breast milk proved otherwise. You guys, please do not make fun of this eyelash. It got squished in the box and I tried to like reshape it, but yeah. Don't start with me, guys. Do not start with me, okay? Chow! Look at that there. And you know what? Normally I'm really afraid to wear bright color like red lipstick. I like them, but I'm afraid because I'm like, I'm gonna look like a freaking clown, which I usually do. But let's be honest, honestly, like the new makeup trend is Lunette the Clown. Okay, you guys know it's true, right? Ever since girls started putting highlighters on our noses, who knew that Lunette the Clown would be a makeup trend someday? I mean, seriously. Thanks to forensic science and the relentless efforts of Christina's 2 sisters, on November 17th, 2021, Jason Harris was convicted of first-degree murder, solicitation of murder, and delivery of a controlled substance resulting in death. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. What did you guys think about this case and my makeup look? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you like videos like these, you can check out my last episode. I'll leave a link on the screen right here or right here. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please share because it really helps me out. And I'll see you guys next week with another Forensic Friday, Saturday, or Sunday episode. Bye.